Hello everyone, meteorologist Jordan Derensberg. Time is now 7:15. Hey, Hank Aaron's historic number. 7:15 p.m. on this Thursday evening. We are looking pretty nice. It is golden hour right now, so I'm going to show you our Zach Theater weather camera right now as we go to the wall, and we got to look at that. That's a beautiful sunset. That sunlight hitting those buildings at the perfect angle. Golden hour is upon us. The bats are about to fly from the South Congress Bridge, but we have to deal with another day of temperatures in the upper 90s. Camp Mabry and the airport, 97 and 95 respectively, well above our average high of 91, but shy of our record of 101, and honestly, thank goodness. But as we take a look right now, upper 80s at both the airport, Camp Mabry, 87, 89 respectively. Bastrop, you're down to 79, and that's because you had a brief shower move through your area earlier this evening, and we've got some thunderstorm activity in places like LaGrange, just off to the north and east of there as well. And we are tracking just a few of those scattered storms in northern sections of Harris County as well, getting closer to the Houston area, as well as near Waller and Prairie View right there in northern sections of Waller County, getting close to that line heading into Washington County near the Brazos Valley. Now your algae count. Currently we have weeds and ragweed in the medium, fall elm and grass in the low, mold is in the high, and we have elevated levels of alternaria as well. And you can find this each and every day on KVU.com and the KVU app. Getting down to the lower 70s and upper 60s tomorrow morning, similar to where we were this morning. And it's going to be the same thing again, low to mid 90s for most of us by the time we get to 3 in the afternoon. I have a high of around 95 or 96 as we head into your Friday afternoon and evening, and could be slightly cooler as we head through your Saturday morning, upper 60s, lower 70s. But later on tomorrow night, the Texas Tailgaters are taking on the Party Animals. It is that version of baseball known as Banana Ball. Savannah Bananas aren't actually there, but it is the Texas Tailgaters and the Party Animals. Should be a very fun event. The Texas Tailgaters are headlining this. This is the third stop on their tour, and first pitch will be in the lower 90s with those partly cloudy skies hanging around. And by the time the game ends, which is 2 hours from the game's start, that is literally the time limit for Banana Ball, we should be in those lower 80s, and I think it should be a very interesting game. Hopefully we don't have to worry about those showdowns where it's literally one fielder as well as the pitcher and the catcher. But also, those 8th-ranked Texas Longhorns, hopefully they get their acts together against Sam Houston. 7 o'clock on Saturday is your kickoff. Temperatures in the mid-90s, maybe an isolated shower. I do have mostly clear skies though. But also on Sunday, Austin FC, they're on a high against the Seattle Sounders. Of course, they're in the U.S. Open Cup final. Austin FC is. We'll be in the mid-90s for that game, warm and muggy, and again, a 10% chance of maybe an isolated shower. Now let's talk about that average first fall cold front. And we're in that prime period to where we would have that. The best chances of that probability happening is in this particular period between now and the 23rd, where there's a 21% probability with that, and it has to be a strong front with a temperature decrease of around 10%. We do have a front that's going to be making its way through late Monday and into Tuesday, and that'll bring with it a few of those scattered shower and storm chances, especially Tuesday night into early Wednesday. However, it's not going to be as strong enough to satisfy the condition of a fall cold front. But we do have Tropical Storm Gabrielle churning in the middle of the Atlantic, not really going to affect land at all. This is really going to be a fish storm, if anything else. And as we head into Sunday and Monday, though, it does expect to become a hurricane east of Bermuda, going to give Bermuda a bit of a rip current risk. So if you're flying out there, something to keep in mind. Still, though, it's just going to be a problem for all the fishies swimming around right there. We're also tracking another system. It's another tropical wave off the coast of Senegal and the Gambia and Guinea-Bissau. It's going to eventually make its way past the Cabo Verde Islands, and it'll have a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days. And the next name on the list, for what it's worth, it's going to be Umberto. Now, this season has been quieter than the Minnesota United fans last night after CJ Faudré hit that game-winning goal late in extra time. But it's not too late. It's never too late, in the words of 3 Days Grace, whether or not we are going to be seeing the possibility of the tropics starting to act up a little bit. But as we take a look at our next 7 days back here at home, a 20 to 30% chance of a few of those scattered storms that are possible, especially with that front that does move through them. I still have a 30% chance. I may up this depending on how the trends run out, because we do have time before we get into the shorter range models. That would be by the time we get to around Sunday, we'll have a better idea of whether or not that front does make it through Tuesday night and Wednesday, or maybe earlier in the day Tuesday, and also what the storm chances will be as a result. But in the meantime, we do have mid-90s as we head throughout the course of these next few days. But then we've got that storm chance late Tuesday and into early Wednesday, and it is going to be a very interesting up and down next few days. And howdy, David. I would like to say my pleasure for the updates. If anyone has any questions about that, I know I went through a whole lot. Feel free to ask away, and definitely let's see what we've got we can talk about here. We can talk about our temperatures, and we can show y'all exactly who's getting all of the rain right now. And really, let me change these boxes real quick, because that is so not right. Nope, not what we're looking for. Boom, there we go. That's better. Yeah, so Bastrop, you're at 79 because y'all have that rain cooled air because of that shower activity that you had earlier this afternoon. David says he's excited for the cold front. It's not going to really be much of a cold front. I'm going to pull that 7-day up again to kind of show you. You're only going to have like a 5-degree temperature drop in highs. I mean, ain't going to be much of a change. Let's be real here. 95 to 90 isn't a whole lot, David. I do have a 30% chance of a few scattered storms, and we need the rain. Let's be real here, especially in the Austin metro and points just a little off to the east, because that Barton Springs aquifer didn't actually recharge the way we wanted it to during that July 4th flooding. So that's why you still have that drought. Trey said, good evening, Jordan. Hope you're doing well. Need that rain. I would agree. We could use some of that rain. That's a real chance of that coming up Tuesday and into Wednesday. And again, we'll track it as we go through the weekend and see if those chances increase or decrease, or how potent that cold front is going to be. So it's too early to say, but right now things indicate to there not being that strong cold front, but a little bit of a cool front, if you will. It's probably not going to be till October where we have that. But anyways, does anyone have any more questions? I'm going to go ahead and see if anyone has any more questions before I call it there. Let's see. Let's see. Anybody else? Anybody else? Going once. Going twice. And sold. We'll see y'all coming up on KV News at 10 with all your latest news and weather headlines. So at least you have this handsome guy to watch on KV News at 10. And I'll have the latest on your weather coming up then.